everyone. Let me get a little closer to you. My name is Susan Holt. Shoot. Hi everybody, how you doing? My name is Susan Holt and I am an artist. Welcome to today's little live that I'm doing. I have some stuff set up in my background, some goodies to show you later. So some goodies off to my side to show you later. I do have my notes over here in this corner. So if I look over there, put on my glasses, I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to get too far off of what I want to relay to you today. So welcome aboard. It looks like I have two members or two viewers at the moment. Thanks for joining me, whoever you are. I will be looking at the comments to just check and see every once in a while if anybody is commenting, which would be lovely if you do. If you have any questions for me or a nice comment here and there, that would be fantastic. I posted earlier today that if you wanted to bring some tea, come on in, grab a cup of tea. I have my cup here, my big mug with my cute little lizard handle. This was done by a friend of mine. Take a little sip. So, what are we talking about today? Well, I am going to introduce myself to you. We're doing some testing and setup because I need to know what works, where to put my computer, my camera, the lights my tech guru husband had lying around. So thanks, honey. If you see someone named Chris Kurtz post and it sounds kind of official or he gives you more information, that is my husband. So he knows what's going on kind of behind the scenes. So don't just blow his comments off like he doesn't live here, because he does. So thank you so much for joining us today and for letting me do this and joining me for testing setup. So we have already done that. Check. But I want you to get to know me a little bit better. Jenny says that the setup looks good and that I am an amazing person. Thank you, my dear. I completely understand and I agree. My friend Jennifer is on with us as well. Oh, I have the two Jennifer and Jennies. That's fantastic. Hi, ladies. Thanks for joining me. My About Me section. I have been an artist my entire life. I have drawn and doodled and sculpted and crafted since before I went to kindergarten. My mom tells a story of how she used to have to make salt dough for me to play with so that she could actually get anything done around the house. So that kind of explains a lot. I do have a Bachelor of Fine Arts. It is with a ceramics emphasis. Recently I've been doing more two-dimensional art than three-dimensional art, but yes, I do make ceramics. Cute little jar I made, and nice little blue vase, whichever you would like to call it. And those were both thrown on the wheel, and I think the vase I made in college as a returning adult, and the little ink jar I made just after that. I did go to Northern Arizona University when I was 18, and I was not ready for college yet. So I left after 2.5 years. And when I was ready to go back, I went to Glendale Community College and got my associate's degree. Then I had a wonderful opportunity to attend Arizona State University, ASU, where my husband worked and still does. And so I went on what I call the hubby scholarship. That's where you have someone or yourself that works there, and you get a little piece of paper that says, hey, my person or I work for you, and so tuition is cheaper. So that was a really big financial help in getting through that degree. And I am so glad that I went and got my degree and finished it up. It makes a lot of difference in how I talk about art, talk to people about art. You know, I don't want to come off as kind of snobby about it. I am I am one of the least snobby people I know, unless there's something I really hate, like sauerkraut. I don't like sauerkraut. But art, I love. I love to talk about art. I love to talk to people about art. Jennifer will actually tell you that we met in a group that made art. We did calligraphy and illumination together. And I have just really kind of branched out. So as of this point, I have about 16, almost and a half years of being a professional artist. Like I mentioned, I have done calligraphy and illumination. One of my most recent calligraphy pieces that I didn't take out of the acetate because I did not realize the lights would reflect that much off of this, so give me just a moment. So this one is, once upon a time, there was a girl who loved tea and dogs. This is one of my calligraphy pieces, and it is done in a mixture of inks and calligraphy pens. I have a lot of fun making those. I have also done some steampunk items. I have done some wire wrapping jewelry in the past. I have done watercolor paintings. I actually have prints of 2 of the watercolor paintings I did that I would like to share with you. First, we have the sun bear. There we go. My husband has the original of this one in his office. And the next one I did was the sea turtle. I took this picture. I took pictures of both of these guys myself, and then I went ahead and did watercolors of them. And I did full sheet watercolor paintings of these 2 animals. Full sheet is just under 24 by 36. I think it's 24 by 30-ish is a full sheet of watercolor paper. But the sea turtle, the original of that one, is never leaving my house unless there's a lot of money given to me for it. Because when I was taking my watercolor class, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't do all of the really floofy, flowery stuff that a lot of the other watercolor artists in the class were doing and perfecting, and of course making their pieces look beautiful and making me look at their pieces like, how did you do that? Well, I was missing some steps. However, I went home, I looked through my photos, I said, great, what do I want to do? So I picked these 2 pieces out, and I picked out the sea turtle first because sea turtles are awesome and I like them. They are not my all-time favorite animal. I don't really know if I have an all-time favorite animal, but I do like sea turtles. And I decided to do full sheet with the sea turtle, strictly because my professor told me that I was not ready to paint full sheet. She didn't want me to waste a full sheet of paper. Well, when your brain doesn't work like everybody else, you have to shift your mindset and do something that you want to do, that you can do, that the other people in class can't do. And that was me with this with these watercolor paintings that I did. I did some nature paintings, I did some animal paintings, all of different sizes. Most of them have sold, thankfully, so thank you to the people who have purchased those. But that shift took place when I said, okay, I cannot figure out how to make these blobs of paint look like flowers, but I do know how to make a sea turtle look like a sea turtle using this paint. So that is what I did. I walked in the day after spring break with my full page, full sheet watercolor painting of this sea turtle, and my professor looked at the painting and said, okay, apparently you were drawing the wrong things. You were painting the wrong things. You're fine. Do you? I got an A in that class. So I was very, very, very happy with how all of that turned out. Most recently, I have been working with some pour painting acrylics, some fluid acrylics, and my little dot mandalas. I have also been working with the paint that drips off of those paintings, and I peel it off of, I put down plastic first, so I peel it off of the plastic and then I make jewelry out of them, and I will show you that here in just a moment. But the dot mandala paintings that I have been recently making, and I will move out of the way so you can see them. Right there's one. Oh, got the shine of the lights. This one is 24 by 24 inches. I'm tilting it because of the glare of the lights. And it is a pour painted background, and then I create these spiral dot mandalas on them. Each of these little terminal designs are different on each and every single painting. If I make a little painting that I want a linear design on, I use different terminal designs on either side, or either side this, getting the hand movements down, either side this direction as well. And I never use the same design twice. So when you buy one of these paintings from me, or you buy a set of earrings or a pendant that I also do these designs on, not all of them have the same designs. The paintings are all one of a kind. I don't do prints yet. I might. Actually, that's not true. I do prints and I do other merchandise on my Redbubble account, and you can find that link up in the guide section. I only have one guide in there so far. There will be more coming. But I also do, this is not a jewelry piece, this will be a Christmas ornament, but this is something similar to what I do with the jewelry. It's just large. But I do the pour painted background, which comes up off of the plastic, because acrylic paint is plastic and I don't want to put that into the sewer system or the drainage system if I can help it. So as you can see on the back, there is what the underside of that paint dripping off looked like. But this has a nice little spiral mandala on it, and then the little end designs on this are one of a kinds as well. So I'll put a little hole in that, put a ribbon through it, and this will be available in my shop around Christmas time. But the jewelry is made the same way. I do tiny little post earrings, I do drop and dangle earrings, I even have some really large statement piece pendants. You can find all of this on my website, which is www.saholtstudios.com. Again, that link is up in the guide section in a guide up there. Whew, my goodness. Does anybody have any questions? I think I went over just about everything. I might have talked too fast. But like I said, this is my first one of doing these over here. It's my first one with a little guide off to the side. And oh, yes, I have one more thing in my pile of show and tell. Oh, I have two more things in my pile of show and tell. So while you're coming up with your questions, I will show you some of this stuff. So these little pieces, I take one of the end designs, the terminal designs off of a spiral, and I put it on a small pour painted background on Yupo paper, just plain white paper. It's actually really cool. If you want to look it up on Wikipedia, it's YUPO paper, and it takes the pour paintings, the acrylic paint, super nice, but you have to wear gloves while you use it, because otherwise if you put a fingerprint on there, it will repel the paint from the oils in your hand. This up here says Patreon exclusive. There we go. Because these are little Patreon exclusives for the people who sign up to help me out on my art journey over on Patreon. And that link is, again, in the guide provided above. Jennifer has a question and says, is it one of the ones that floats on the clear? Yes. So what she's talking about is this piece. And how I like to make these is I take some extra steps that other people might not take because it takes a little bit more time. But I'll put down the piece of paint. I will dry paint. I will cover it with resin. I will let the resin cure, and then I will put the spiral mandalas or the other designs on top of that cured resin. Then I will put another coat of resin on the top of that. What that does is it makes a small little shadow behind the dots when the lighting is right. So it really gives an interesting 3D effect. Thank you so much for that question, Jennifer. That was a really excellent question. And then I have been taking a seminar, a course, and it's a year-long thing, and I'm just starting, but I'm really excited about it. And I have to go through and view videos, and sometimes I want to listen to them more than once. So after I've watched it and I've taken some notes, if I view it again, I'll put it on, and then I will work on drawing or putting color onto mandalas that I have made. And I start with a blank piece of paper. This one I drew back in 2017, and I put color on it in 2020. So here's this piece, and this is on paper. All of my little mandalas are on paper. Well, this isn't a little one, it's kind of a big one. But I do have some mandalas that will go out to my patrons on Patreon as well. I have little 4x4 pieces. I have 6x6 pieces. And for special patrons who are with me for quite some time, I have larger pieces of art, either mandala art or the spiral mandala paintings or linear mandala paintings on the Yupo paper. So, yeah, everything that I showed you today is actually for sale except the Patreon exclusive and the piece that will be an ornament come this December. That's not quite ready yet. And my ceramics, they are not available. These two pieces are not available. So if you do want to visit my website, I would appreciate you doing that and look through. There's a lot of stuff there. because I've been making art for a very long time. So don't get discouraged if you're potentially a new artist who um, only has a few paintings or a few drawings in your stash. You're just starting out. I've been doing this for 16 and a half years. I have a lot of stuff in my studio from my past, from my present, and I will be working on stuff in the future. Some of the things I will be doing on these weekly lives in the future is I will be doing some painting demos and some drawing demos, and maybe even a resin demo. Even though resin is kind of a pain in the rear and it gets super sticky, I will do my best to put up a little demo and let you guys watch me work on that. Because I do have some pieces that have the first resin pour done and cured, the paint is on them and it is dry, and it does need to have that top coat of resin put on it. I do not put resin on my paintings. Resin yellows over time, and with the jewelry it gives it a nice antique hue. I don't mind that at all. I actually like it very much. But on the paintings, I just use a real quick spray coat, a clear coat that generally does not yellow over time. So what you see in the painting is what you're going to get. Also coming up, we have quarterly live events, and those will be over a weekend. I don't know quite when those will be scheduled yet, so do stay tuned for those, but there will be a Friday evening and Saturday and Sunday during the day session for each of those weekends, and I will be making special offers on those weekends, so do stick around for those. Got one more thing on here. I also do some in-person events. I don't think I don't have the information for those in front of me right now, but I will post it as it gets closer. I have one coming up mid-November and early December so that we can hit the sales rushes. Those two will be in my front yard or in my driveway because I can. I live in a very artsy neighborhood, so sometimes we have neighborhood art shows, and sometimes it's enough for me to just sit outside and sell art to people who are here local in the Phoenix metro area. So I enjoy those, and I enjoy seeing my friends that pop by, so those are always a lot of fun for me. And I also do some of the first Fridays in downtown Phoenix, the Friday art walks, and I'm usually over at the La Guitarra Cat Cafe, which will have cats very soon. I don't know have an exact date for that either, but Missy, the owner, says that they're coming soon. They just need to get the last sign off from the city of Phoenix before they can have kitties there. But that is down off of 2nd Street, and it's a block south of Roosevelt Row. So if you're familiar with First Fridays, we're down in that general area. Looks like Jennifer has another question. She says, what made you decide to become a professional artist? That's a great question. I hate working in an office. I'm really not good at math. My brain likes and understands science, but doesn't want to do science. So what consumes me and what drives me is art. Plain and simple. I love learning new techniques. I love implementing them. I love perfecting them. I really enjoy going back to them. My muse is kind of cyclical. Sometimes she takes off for a couple years and comes back, but most of the time she sticks around. And I'm pretty prolific. I'm a prolific artist. I like to create, so I create a lot. With COVID and the pandemic hitting, My husband and I have stayed home as much as we can. He's in his office on one side of the house. I'm in my studio in the other side of the house. We're trying to stay as healthy as we can. We're trying to not be around people as much as we can so that we don't spread it and we don't catch it. So, with all that time, I hate to clean. I don't like to clean house. I don't like to do dishes. Laundry is a bore. So I'm not a very good housewife, but I'm a really good artist. So there was really nothing else I wanted to do than make art. Even when I went to school to NAU, Northern Arizona State University, when I was 18, I thought I wanted to be a French interpreter. I hate conjugating verbs. That was not going to work out for me. So I was taking art classes on the side. I thought, maybe I'll get an art minor. And they're the only classes I actually went to. I did not have a great GPA when I was in my early 20s. I needed to do some growing up so that I could look at getting a degree in a different light. And when I thought about it, what I thought about doing, the only thing I thought about doing was going back and getting my art degree, finishing that up. So that's what I did. And I have been doing ceramics and painting and jewelry and kind of whatever I can to keep my brain active, to keep my art thriving. And that's what I like, and that's what I do. So that's why I became a professional artist, is so that I could do those things and get paid for it. So I hope that answered your question. Maybe a little too thoroughly, but there you have it. So, if you need to find me anywhere else on social media, on the internet, please go to the guides section. You can find me there. I will be doing most of my art-based stuff here in this group, Chaos and Order by Artist, by Art by S.A. Holt Artist. And, the reason I called it Chaos and Order, Art by Moi, is because a friend of mine named Epal, who is off on a grand life adventure right now, and I'm very jealous of him, said to me one day, I love the chaos and order you bring to all of your art. And I said, oh, the poor paintings with the dot mandalas on them? And he said, no, all of your art. And I said, oh, well, thank you very much. And coming from him, that is a huge compliment. I don't want to make art that's boring. I don't want to make art that's not eye-catching, but I also want to make art that people look at and go, ooh, now that's cool. That's really cool. So that is why I called my page, my group, Chaos and Order Art by S.A. Holt Artist. So I think I have held you hostage for 30 minutes today, and I think that is more than enough. You have allowed me to work out some technical glitches, so thank you very much for that. You've let me ramble on about myself, which, for those of you who know me, know I can do that for a while because I think I'm hilarious and fascinating. But that's neither here or there. So I also got to show you a little bit of my art, and I look forward to seeing you on these weekly live chats. I will be going along and seeing when I get the best interactions on live chats and the most amount of people who come to them, so I may be changing the dates and times on them just to see what works. But other than that, I will see you in about a week, and we will talk about some other stuff. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a really, really great weekend. Now I have to figure out how to stop this video. Again, that is a technical thing over here, and it says end video. So I will do that. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. Have a great day. Bye.